Welcome to the Inspired Riding Podcast. I'm your host, Beth Lauren Parrish. As a certified riding instructor, remote coach, and animal communicator, I bridge the gap between your inner and outer worlds as you strive to enhance all aspects of your riding. I'm here to remind you that you are powerful and more than capable of changing your reality with your horse time.
Welcome back to the Inspired Riding interview series. As you know, I'm Beth Lauren Parrish, and I'm so excited to interview today Ifa Simmonds, and I have lots of fun questions for him. So Ifa, thanks for being here. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I am so honored and thrilled to be here with Beth and you all, especially in my first live interview, which is really, really cool. So we kind of get the best of both worlds here. But what I do is fitness and health and wellness for equestrians. So my goal is to bring increase the athleticism of our industry and give us the structure and the capability to do so for the long term. So that takes place in a couple different ways, and Beth and I will get into that at some other point. But yes, my business is named Ifa Fit, has my name in it, and my program is Equestrian Fitness Academy.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. And this is such an important topic. So I'm going to start with like an icebreaker question, pretty fun. All right. If I were to hand you $10 million right now, what would be the first thing you'd want to do with it?
In general or in anything?
Anything. Sky's the limit. Universe is the limit.
The first thing that I would do is reinvest in my business. It's new right now, and I'm continuously growing and expanding, and that's been excellent. But putting quite a bit of money into it would allow me to reach more people and allow me to help more people. And that's really why I got into this. So that would be, who knows how much money of the 10 million. It won't be 10 million, but all different types of things. What else I would like to do is I would like to have get a couple different properties so I can become bi-coastal.
Nice.
That would be great, so that I could, reach people on the West Coast physically, as well as on the East Coast, which I'm in New Jersey. And then maybe even something overseas, because I lived in Hawaii for 2 years. So I kind of like the idea of having some sort of tropical aspect. And yeah, just, taking care of family and setting structures up to make the industry better, as well as my family. So yeah, that's my first thing. Yeah.
I love that. I just got chills. It's so awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Freedom.
Yes. So important too. So very curious about how you got started in the horse world and what was your experience like?
Got it. So you want the full story? You want the story how I got into fitness in the horse world?
I think horses in general. Let's start from there. That'd be fun.
All right. I'll try and make the story as short as possible. But my first experience was with a mechanical horse, or with a toy horse as a toddler.
Oh, cute.
Very young. His name was Qua Qua. It was my favorite thing ever. And I used to bounce and rock, and I enjoyed it. Absolutely enjoyed every single aspect of it. And from that moment, I really loved horses. I did not have the opportunity to ride horses and be close to horses based on proximity, living in a city, and didn't know where that might have took place. But my dad and I found a mounted riding program in a big city here in Newark, New Jersey. And that was fantastic, seeing a horse for the first time in maybe third, fourth grade, somewhere around there. I could have been younger, but who remembers that far back? And so that was the first time I really saw a horse. And, it was really interesting to see horses being ridden on the street. And then they also had a riding ring that they used to practice and just, sort of make sure that their horsemanship was up to par for their daily tasks. So that was the first time I saw a horse in person. And then the first time I rode a horse was just outside of high school. I took a gym job, which is fitting for what I do now.
Yeah.
And immediately connected with a coworker who had her own barn and farm and trail riding hacking program. So she invited me to come out and ride, and I did, and fell in love with it, and have loved trail riding ever since. So that would be my main discipline. If anything else, I haven't done anything specific dressage, like, oh, no jumping at this point. I'm not saying I'm not against it, but I think I would love to work on more of my horsemanship and getting in the saddle more often first before getting into something like that. But just riding and being out in nature, nature is one of my huge passions. I grew up in a family that's big on that, and we just love the outdoors, and then horses. So hacking seems to be the best part and way for me to enjoy those two passions of mine. So that's my shorter story to the end of where we are now. Is I work in Flemington, West New Jersey area, and it's horses and farms and barns everywhere. We're in one of the many horse hubs here in New Jersey, and working at a small facility, riders would come in and say, hey, I need help, I need this, I need that, I had a fall, I had an injury, I need to recover, and can you help me? And I was like, I'm your guy. And ever since I got my first client, probably 7 or so years ago, I took it extremely serious, fell in love with it, and just wanted to kind of be around horses again, but they were in my domain. So now I'm in their domain. So I train out of barns. I go to people. So barn fitness, I guess you could call it. I don't think that's a common thing in the US yet. But I guess I'm making it so.
Yes,
and,
please.
Yeah. So it's been an honor and a great opportunity for me to be able to touch the horse and tell people to do lunges at the same time. Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
And tell
So
the horse, listen, we're making your rider as athletic as you, and this is really essential.
It is. You know what's funny is I have a picture that I've been wanting to post for a while where I was timing a plank, and the horse wanted to literally time it with me. I was just leaning on the stall, and I swear to you, he comes out and he's looking, and his mouth starts moving, and in that moment, I'm like, is that what I think it is? And she's like, I think Maverick is his name. I think Maverick wants to time it with you, actually. And so he stays there the whole time. And as soon as I press the stop button, he walks away. And when it starts for another plank, she starts up and he comes right back and watches it. So I have a picture of it, but not a video because I was so enthralled in the moment. But I have to post that one day. Hopefully soon, we'll see. But yeah, it just being in that environment really is everything for me. So that's where my passion and my love kind of really is just on full display. Definitely.
I love that so much. It almost sounds like the horse was doing tabatas with you.
It definitely was. Yeah, I was making sure that, hey, make sure you finish hips down. Thank you very much. Yeah, you do that to me, so why can't I do that to you, right?
Exactly. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, they're very tuned in. That's really cool.
Yes,
You have that experience.
Yes, they are.
So what's the best piece of advice you were ever given about horses?
We are forever indebted to horses. I'll give a couple quick snippets. We are forever indebted to horses for all the things that we do wrong or miscommunicate, and they continue to forgive us, is something that you just could never ask a human to do. Another one would be something that someone else mentioned regarding fitness and horses, actually. And it's kind of interesting because it's actually an Olympian who said it last year, a year and a half ago. She said, when I took my health and wellness seriously, and I found that was the key to me connecting with my horses better, because that's something that we were not taught and we did not learn during that time. It made everything so much more easy. So when she said, I can't believe I found someone who's doing your type of work. Thank you so much for doing it. It really, really meant a lot. So yeah, just kind of tying all of that in, like, we deserve it, they deserve it, but we must understand that we have a part in the relationship, and it really does stem from what we bring to the table each and every time we're in the saddle or even at the barn. That energy is permeable, if that's a word.
Absolutely. Yeah, the better we feel in our bodies,
Yes,
the easier it will be for our horse to feel our energy field and know that we are, really bringing it and being authentic and ready to ride, and not just kind of messing about. So,
Yeah.
and they deserve it from us, and then we deserve it to do it for ourselves. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
I love that. Let's see. So what else did I want to ask you? What's something you wish you had known from the start of your horse journey?
Equestrians take a long time to make change.
Unless they meet me, and then they're going to be changed really quick.
This is very true. And, meeting you a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever time frame it was, and when we had our talk, it was really, really, I would say life-changing in a way, because I haven't had a lot of different communication with a lot of different people, but just learning and meeting and finding out what you do and what you did and how you kind of got to where you are, and that beautiful, art in the back of you. It was like, wow. I went home and, told my family, and so just like, man, I met someone who like gets the energy aspect of what they bring to the horse. It's like, we were just like connected there, and they were like, man, yeah, that is nice to hear you talk about it from that perspective. So yeah, I'm really glad everything that you're doing. Thank you. Keep going. And the industry definitely needs more individuals like you. So if I haven't met anyone yet who also does energy and beautiful work, I'm open to the energy coming to us and us connecting more so as well. So I'd love to meet more equestrians who are along the same energy and mental acuity, so that we're able to help each other, help each other.
Thank you so much for that. And the Inspired Riders group is very much all about that. So you're in really good company in that aspect. And I should mention, if you go to Ifa's website, he has a beautiful offer for 6 videos that you can try. And then you can stay connected with him and then jump into a discovery call with him. And that way he can show you all the things that you need for your body. So I just wanted to mention that. We'll of course share the links in the show notes later, but I just wanted to pop that in there now, just so you guys know that that is available. So it's very exciting. I've already taken a look at it this morning. I'm like, ooh, I've already done some of these exercises. I feel proud of myself. So.
Yep. Staying consistent with those exercises will definitely help in the pillars that are often mentioned in my program. So yeah.
Fantastic. And so you have an online program now, is that correct?
Yes. So online coaching program, it's 3 months, so 12 weeks. There's 3 jumps. So I like alliteration. So jumping over something. I work with a lot of eventers, hunter jumpers, show jumpers. So jumping over something is, the key to overcoming a task, an opportunity, and an obstacle. And so each month there are different obstacles and results that a rider is supposed to experience, or that they most likely will experience. And through that program, we go over 4 pillars, which is stability, suppleness, strength, and stamina. And all 4 of those are intertwined to every single discipline needed in the equestrian discipline, in the equestrian world and community. So that's just a couple things about what I do. The program is all online, so it does not matter if you're in the UK, you're in Jamaica, you're in New Zealand, or you're right here in New Jersey or the US. You'll be able to reach that. So there's an app, and so everything is included in that. You also have me throughout the whole time, so it's not a buy and you're on your own type of program. You get me and you get everything else that kind of brings in the human aspect of being at a distance. And that is huge for what's necessary, as well as how we make progress in our new technological time.
Absolutely. And it's invaluable. And I'm loving doing that as well, teaching remotely and having my groups. And it's so cool to be able to help people around the world. It's the coolest.
It is. Yeah. Just having calls with people in different states and different time zones is really interesting. But yeah, so that's the love of what I do. And I always forget this part, but I love working with the rider and the coach in the program. So that really helps both of us to make that big leap. So the coach says, hey, this is what I see often. Here's some of her or his common cues that I'm mentioning, or they're missing A's or miscommunication here. What type of things can you do to improve that? And then next month we get on another call and say, okay, she did great here, he did great there, let's adjust this. And so we continue to move along in that process. And that's really where everyone is on the same page in a full circle manner. So for people like you, you'd be the trainer and the clients would say, hey, I'm going to join this. And I'd say, hey, Beth, so what type of things have you seen? How can I help them in this category after the things that I've seen physically? So everything in an assessment doesn't always translate to what the coach sees during the lesson. And I don't do riding instruction on horse. So that's where I bring, an extra expertise to help the rider become an even more of a champion, as I like to say.
That is a brilliant way of doing it. I love that kind of collaboration. So thank you for telling me. I had no idea that that was part of it. So very cool.
You're welcome. Yeah, that happened just through osmosis because my clients, some of them are trainers. And so they would say, hey, I want you to come and see this person. This is what she does. This is what he does. And okay, just fix it. And I'm like, okay, this is great. Right. I would often go back to them, who's my client, and say, hey, but this is, what do you see here? Or what do they do? And they say, oh, okay, this is what happens. And I can't seem to get them to do this. And all of those different things added. So I have to add this to the online aspect, but how? And so far the response has been excellent. Coaches are like, oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'll get on a call with you and let's talk about it because I'm ready for that to be done and we can move on to the next.
That's so exciting. Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Cool. Well, speaking of that and specific riders, I'm going to go to my Inspired Riding Connection group. They had specific questions for you, if you don't mind answering those.
I am all ready to go.
Fantastic. So Claire was the first one. She wanted to know what you recommended as the best balance between riding and cross training to maintain fitness and suppleness. So would you recommend like 50-50 or something different?
Me personally, it's a personal question that I'll do my best to answer and generalize.
Sure.
So let's just say she's riding on average 2 days a week. Is that a good average?
2 or 3, maybe more.
Okay. 2 or 3 days a week. I would say she or he needs to find time to do that about 50-50, definitely.
Okay.
Now, one, the suppleness aspect will definitely help for the next time you get back in the saddle. The strength aspect will help you to decrease the soreness that you may feel and also keep the stamina, another pillar of mine. The stamina will increase for the long haul. And you'll also find that there's more efficiency between the two time frames between getting in the saddle and then recovering and getting back in the saddle. Not only that, but the strength and suppleness and flexibility and mobility work that we do is so important so that we don't go into a time frame where we overuse too many muscles. So the strength training should also be something that gets a rider to use opposing muscles that are already too tight, too tense, weak, or whatever it is. So tightening, flexibility, strength, and everything all in one, I would say 50-50 for the average rider. But if she wants more of a specific layout, she can, message me or just we can find some time to talk about that.
Fantastic. Thank you for that answer. Yeah, it's interesting because one day I just got this like intuitive hit, like, well, for every ride you do, you should be doing some other cross training and just like match it.
Absolutely.
It's just something that came in that I thought was a good idea.
And to piggyback off of that very quickly, I've also met an Olympian, Boyd Martin, and I had a good conversation about it. And he said, without him doing his pre-ride routine every single morning before he rides, it's not physically possible to do so. So in order for an Olympian to get there, and obviously he's had a bunch of injuries, and I'm pretty sure all of us are familiar with a fall or whatever it is, but the idea of knowing that is unshakable on his list of things that need to be done for someone who rides a lot more than the average person.
Sure.
I think that I know that we owe ourselves that same exact respect and honor for ourselves and the horse.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
And so cool you got to chat with him too. So.
Very, very, very nice guy. His eyes lit up as soon as he found out what I did. And that was before I launched the program. So
nice.
We're due for another talk, but we'll have to find him because we haven't seen him at the next show. So yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Excellent.
Okay, so let's see. So this was actually my question. I snuck one in. What are your top 3 exercises to encourage equestrians to do when they're in a time crunch?
Excellent job. So if I can, I'll show you now. Is that all right?
Yes, please do it.
So I will.
This is awesome.
So here's my belief. I believe that an exercise is a stretch and a stretch is an exercise. The only difference is intensity.
Okay.
So your same warm up can be a great exercise for you. And so, and vice versa. If you slow it down, it'll become a stretch in certain areas. So I'll give you a couple different exercises here. You said 3, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so 3. Let's just start with 1, which would be here, right? So if we're going down, we'll reach down towards the floor and work up, and then we'll come up to the other side and do the same thing here. What that'll work on is the inner thigh, the obliques, and the waist, as well as range of motion of the mid and upper back. So that's excellent. And before you do that, if we were going to make that an exercise, you would go a little faster, coming up and going down. So range of motion and ability, if you cannot reach down to your feet, that's fine. You can go to your knee, go to your shin, or whatever works for you. But
Nice.
this will also strengthen the shoulders and the upper body and your back for that perfect riding position. Second exercise, I would keep the legs here and sit down for a side lunge, going side to side. And this is going to help lengthen the inner thighs as well as strengthen it. Strengthen the seat and the hip muscles here, pelvic floor, and also work on hip shifting, which we also know that is extremely important in the connection and communication with the horse. So just sitting back to each side, just like this, something that you can also do before you ride. And then I would add one more. I'm just going off the top of my head here because this is what I do for a living. So there's always going to be something slightly different. Is a knee hug. This is going to get the hip flexors warmed up a little differently than the first 2 exercises. It'll also help to get the heart rate up and stretch the hamstring. So this is really simple and easy to do. A squat is a perfect one, sitting back and standing up. Everyone's squat's going to look slightly different. So that's a little bonus if you wanted one for 4.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm like, I want to go do it now. Yeah.
And so you can do that anywhere. So I chose to not get on the floor so that if riders wanted to do something, when riders did something before they warmed up, before they got on the saddle, that's something easy so that you didn't have to get down and come back up because everyone wears different type of clothing. So yeah.
Such a good point. Oh my gosh, thank you for that. That was so fun to see.
There you go, live. There you go, people.
Very exciting. Oh my gosh. All right. So now Carrie wanted to know, do you have any post-ride ideas for what she calls us vintage riders? You know, ones who are a little bit older, have had some injuries, especially like working on, helping our hips when we're riding the wider horses, things like that. That's what she was talking about. So if you have thoughts on that.
So same thing, right? So we'll go back to the same exact idea of, I'll prove exactly what I mean by a stretch is an exercise and exercise is a stretch. If you've had a shoulder injury and your arm cannot reach up this high, lower it and reach down. You could put one hand on the hip and go from side to side. Either way, we're still working on the midsection, our core and our hips. That goes into the second thing before. So if you have a hip issue and there's a little less range of motion, do what's capable, shorten and lower the range of motion. Same thing for our side lunge from side to side. If your depth is not going to look like mine, that's okay. Shorten it. But either way, lengthening the inner thigh is extremely important, especially after stabilizing through the lower legs and the hips. So side to side, again, another really, really good one. And then I think everyone's able to do this one, but if there's a balance component that doesn't want to connect, I don't have, it's closer than I thought today. We have a pole where you can grab a hold of the stall, something that allows you to just hug and repeat.
Nice.
So if you are capable of going for a quad stretch, another really good one, sometimes it's done in the saddle as well, but a good post ride is just to keep everything moving.
Yes.
Range of motion of the knees, range of motion of the hips, range of motion of the spine are extremely important to make sure that we don't lose them over the years for our vintage riders.
I love it. That was her word. I thought that was brilliant.
I just wanted to make sure I ended with her word.
So cool. Let's see. So Jana wanted to know more about strength and balance, especially in motion on the horse, if you have ideas on that.
Wanted to know more about strength and balance on the horse, or exercises that will benefit you on the horse.
Exactly. Sorry, yeah.
Exercise that'll strengthen and help to balance. Yeah, so I love, once again, I'll bring this just in case. I'll show a one-leg balance exercise. It's excellent. So I'll show you that from the side with our knees both bent, very soft in the bottom or in the stabilizing leg. I want you to look forward here and keep your back as flat as possible. This is going to strengthen the hips one leg at a time, which is extremely important for our crossbody aids and also the ability to stay in the same spot or similar spots, knowing where you are. So those two words we use often is proprioception, everyone talks about, but we also forget to talk about kinesthesia. So proprioception is knowing where you are in space. Kinesthesia is knowing where, literally knowing where your body is and how to connect with it. So you need one and the other to fully get the whole picture. So that exercise will help to strengthen and stabilize the important muscles, which is the ankle, the knee, the hip, and also the core musculature, which is connected to the knee going all the way up. So that's a great balance exercise. I don't have my balance pods in here, but practicing balance is another really good one. I don't have my shoes on, but standing on here, and everything's black, of course, standing on here and lowering the heels. Can you see my heels or should I back up?
I can see them.
Yep. Very good. Standing here and lowering the heels is an exercise that is perfect for balance. So this one you can do on the mounting block. You can do it on a step like I am or on the stairs. And then when you want to add to that balance, you'll lift the heels up and then come back and whoa.
Woo, yeah.
I thought about looking over at you. Maybe I shouldn't. So up and down and up and down. So most people say, I don't think I can do that. Here's how you do that. You stabilize the core by the midsection. When we stabilize, you're bracing just enough as if someone was to come behind you and give you a surprise hug, right? So you don't need to suck it in order to stabilize. That happens differently. So when you do that, your balance will automatically improve. So lifting up and coming back down. Most importantly is really getting that stretch through the lower leg and the heel, that heels down thing we talk about all the time. Oftentimes rider flexibility is limited in the lower leg from the calf all the way up to the hamstring. So making sure that that's stretched often is going to really help in the long run.
I love
Did
that.
I answer that question there? So balance, and there was another one that I missed.
Oh yeah, it was just about strength and balance. We've already covered that, I think.
There you go. Yep.
We're on it. And then the last question was from Melody, and she wanted specific help for ideas to help with mounting and dismounting, especially since she's broken her pelvis twice. And she finds that she's having some trouble with her hip flexors and glutes are either switched on all the time or off with the fairies. So she's got a great way of putting things. So.
The group has a great way of putting things. Absolutely.
Thank you.
But let's go back to the same thing, right? So let's just keep, we're hammering away at the same point here, which is, this is an excellent one for you. This is going to up the hips. It's going to stretch out the hamstring. It's also going to get a little bit of stretch through the inner thigh. Now, how we take that dynamic is we hold on to something at the barn, at home, a broomstick, pole, a pipe, anything, and you'll go open and close. So that's nice. A tough range of motion at the same height for her, but what she can do is start here, go in and out, as well as in due time, she'll start to go into alternating. So one direction goes open, one direction goes closed, and repeat. This will help to get the hip up and over so that when it's time to get in the saddle, I'll show you this way.
That's brilliant. I love it. Yeah.
I don't have the same angle because I don't have a horse right now, but you get the idea of the ability to open up the hip and having enough strength to get over to the other side without pain. I also would advise more supple exercises, more mobility exercises that'll help. And there are some on my page now, and then there will be there's going to be a series launching this week or next week. And there will be more exercises and suppleness movements that will help riders for their hips. But the first one I just did was for the low back.
Okay.
And a really, really common area of tightness and soreness.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, these are wonderful and so simple, but it just makes so much sense. So that's awesome.
Simple is effective, especially when we get into true horsemanship, isn't it? You'll find that the best of the best really aren't saying anything fancy and cool and nice. They're saying the same thing you saw and read in your first book and in your last book. So,
keep working on those basics. And when you perfect those basics, then everything is like icing. Yeah.
The world is your oyster afterwards, as they say.
Totally. Well, Ifa, is there anything else you'd like to share that I didn't ask you?
Is there anything else that I'd like to share? Anyone in your group, anyone who's going to watch this video, it is time for you to take care of you. It is time for you to take care of you. Don't look for the next person to show you how to do that. You have people now. You have Beth, you have myself, and others who are out here making a true change in the equestrian world and the culture that we're currently in. And our goal is to change. So continue working on the insides, your energy, your aura, your mindset, things of how you think, and continue to work on your body internally, externally, nutritionally, mentally, and physically through some of the movements that I mentioned today, with the core guide and everything else that will be continuously rolled out through my social media as well as my website. But I would love to say, if there's anyone who has a question on Facebook, please tag my name in the comments in the post and I'll be able to see that. Or also send me a message if it's a little bit more personal, which is that's perfectly fine. And I will definitely respond to your message on Facebook, on Instagram, through email, whatever works best for your means of contact. And if you want to speak to me, it won't cost you anything. You can set that up on my website as well, through a fitness strategy call. So we can just kind of figure out what works for you and what you've been doing and how we can continue to make you enjoy and communicate better with your horse, because that's really what we're all here for. And I'm just a vessel to help people do so.
Thank you so much for that. I'm just so grateful for your time here and all the things you're doing for the horse world. This is so important.
Thank you. Thank you.
My last question, if you were to write something on a billboard for the entire horse world to see, what would it be?
Take your health seriously, in all caps with your. The horse's health is taken care of, their mindset is taken care of, their stretches are taken care of, everything else is taken care of, but we are the back burner. And I think I know that we deserve and can do just the smallest amount more to get us the biggest difference. And that's exactly what I coach, is just that 1% difference makes a huge, I think the stats are somewhere between 17 to 33% difference in just that 1% that you make, whether it's every day, every week, or every month, that you can really, really compound what you start with and what you do. And you utilize that. So take your health seriously.
I love that. And I will create that in Canva and I'll send it to you. So you'll have your billboard.
Oh, nice. I'm looking forward to that. And it'll go up on social media as soon as possible.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, Ifa, I so appreciate your time here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. And I'm so excited to do my first live interview with you. So,
well, you're fantastic. Thank you for letting it be the first experience with the Inspired Riders. That was so cool.
You're more than welcome. And anytime they have questions about anything like that, as always, we can set something up. So definitely, thank you so much, and pleasure. Looking forward to the next conversation.
Thank you so much. I am too. All right, everyone, take care, and may the horse be with you always.
I truly hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I did. Remember to lead with kindness for yourself and for your horse. And if you'd like to learn more about Inspired Riding, please go to inspiredriding.com. And if you'd like to join the group, you can go to facebook.com/groups/Inspired Riders. I hope you'll join us. Thanks again for listening, and may the horse be with you always.